Anxiety disorder has been part of my life for the past 7 years. Now, I did an entire video on my personal anxiety story and how I overcame and tackled anxiety disorder, panic attacks, and depression. In this video, I want to talk to you about overwhelm. Now, even though I've had anxiety disorder for 7 years, one of the most common symptoms and side effects that anyone with anxiety really deals with is overwhelm. And you don't even have to have anxiety to have overwhelm in your life. And again, if you're a student, business owner, parent, whatever role that you have currently in your life, you're going to deal with overwhelm in one way or another in your own personal journey. And with us recently, over the last couple of months, there's been a lot of big transitions and transformations in our own personal life. The biggest one being that we have welcomed a newborn, wonderful, beautiful, amazing baby into the world. And my wife, Crystal, and I were so blessed. At the time of this recording, our little Malik man is almost 6 months young. And with that being said, 2020 and the start of 2020 has been very exciting with our business as well, with so many amazing things happening. And because of that, I haven't had a lot of time to create content for my podcast and for my YouTube channel. With that came overwhelm. And the reason I felt so overwhelmed is because running a company and a business is really amazing, and there's a lot of pros to having your own business. There's a lot of pros to being an entrepreneur, but for me personally, one of the biggest challenges to being a creative and an entrepreneur is there is no one who is looming over you as a boss telling you to get something done in a certain way in a certain time. You have to be disciplined, you have to be organized, and you have to be diligent and driven to get things done. And there's no one who's going to tell you that you have to get a project done, a proposal done, attend a meeting, go to a meeting, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of things that go into running a business, and you have to be in charge of your own personal journey. And with that being said, overwhelm is very common for anxious, creative folks like myself, and it's something that I have discovered over the last 7 years of having anxiety disorder and depression and panic attacks. I've come up with a toolkit of my own through my own journey, and whenever I am faced with a challenge among the different characteristics and the different side effects of anxiety, one of them being overwhelm, what I tend to do is I go through my tool belt and my toolkit and I find the tool that I have discovered and I start putting it into practice. And the tool I want to share with you today is how to handle overwhelm. Again, you don't have to be an anxious, creative entrepreneur like myself to have overwhelm. If you are feeling overwhelmed in any aspect of your life, you should be able to use this today and start seeing an amazing difference in your life. And that tool and tip and trick is scheduling time on your calendar. Now, recently there was a study done where thousands of successful multimillionaires were interviewed, and they were asked how do they stay focused and how do they get their things done. And the vast majority of them said that they do not keep a to-do list. Instead, they schedule things on their calendar. Now think about it. Executives, CEOs, they have their day planned out from the beginning to the end of the day, by second by second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, what meeting they're going to, what presentation they're attending, what proposal they're working on, what conference they're heading to, what phone call they need to jump on, when is lunch, where is lunch. Everything is scheduled for them by them or their assistant or whomever. And just because they're CEOs and executives doesn't mean that it makes them any more special than you. Many people say that they don't have time to do something, or they feel like there's not enough time in the day to do something. But then when you look at their calendar, the only things they have scheduled on their calendar are appointments and meetings. That's it. There's nothing else that's scheduled. Now, how can scheduling time on your calendar help with overwhelm? Think of it this way. I'll use the example of email. Before, email was this crazy overwhelming situation for me, where if I had a ton of editing and a lot of production and a lot of meetings to attend in any given day, I could not even look at an email. Even replying to one single email that would just require like a yes or no answer, maybe one line of copy or one paragraph response that might take me not even a couple of seconds to do, it felt like an entire world was sitting on my shoulders. It was so overwhelming just to reply to an email. I know that might seem bonkers to a lot of people, like, are you kidding me? But for real, creative, anxious entrepreneurs like myself, we have a very difficult time doing even the tiniest things if we don't feel committed or diligent or focused. And so what I did is I started scheduling things on my calendar. So I would tell myself that from 12 to 12:30, for example, I would only reply to emails. I would never look at emails in the morning or in the evening, and I only look at emails for that 30-minute block of time throughout the day. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., I would schedule phone calls. I would do nothing else but schedule phone calls for maybe 10 meetings. From 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., I would do editing and do my most important task for the day and do nothing else. Again, these are just examples, but these were, time blocks that I was using on my own personal schedule. So look at your calendar. If you're a student and you need to study for an exam or you need to prepare for a presentation, how are you utilizing your time? Are you just lollygagging and just doing things throughout the day whenever you feel like there's time to get things done, or are you actually scheduling things on your calendar? Figure out your most focused time and use that focused block of time. For everyone is different. Some people stay more focused at nighttime, right? And some people stay more focused in the morning. Figure out what your focus time is and really be protective of that time. Find that time, your zone of genius, and be protective. Don't let anyone else take over that time, and utilize that for yourself. Find a great place to study, find a great place to edit, find a great place to get your work done. Schedule it on your calendar. Even the smallest things like running errands or perhaps doing the laundry or cleaning the house, whatever it is, put it on the calendar, schedule it, and you will see overwhelm slowly begin to diminish from your life. I hope this tip and tool helped you from my toolkit of how I've been able to handle anxiety and live with generalized anxiety disorder in my own life. And if there's anything I can do to help and support you in your journey, please do not hesitate to reach out and leave a comment below and let me know what I can do to help in your personal journey. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon.